Hello again. Now today I'm just going to go through the Black Powder Waterloo starter set for the second edition. So I got this quite recently, built it all, played a few test games with the quick rules, and I quite like it, to be fair. I just wanted to go through so you know what you're expecting, you can see them built up, we can have a little chat about it. I'm starting, of course, you got the box, I'm not going to go through it. Now, in terms of models, I've got out just one of each and then the metal ones, just because otherwise it's going to be an absolute pain for me to put it all back in the box. Additionally, you'd also get these card casualty markers, which I think is quite good, and I'd advise just cutting it out the numbers you want instead of cutting out them all individually. So that way, you can place a singular one down and then double one and then just a triple one. It just makes it easier. You also get nice, like how you get with the bolt action starter sets, a nice reference cover which covers everything when you put it in the box. That's quite nice. You get a nice big thick rule book. She doesn't like that. Plenty of history in it and plenty of rules and information. I haven't read through it entirely, but I've read through the first majority of it, and it's all fairly simple. Once you get into mechanics and probably once you play it quite a bit, it shouldn't be an issue. You also get a nice little quick start guide and a bit of history. Goes through the Battle of Waterloo itself and moves on to some of the rules. Once I'll get there. Yeah, it tells you a bit how to play, some of the quick formations that you can use. It gives you some quick rules, and it also gives you rules for playing on smaller boards, so which you can see in the brackets. And it just goes through all the steps just to play quickly. I will note one thing when it talks about charges, and it talks about charge responses. It does mention at one point, whether it's in charges or just under cavalry, some of their options, but then doesn't reference it in here. So I would assume that you can use things like counter charge and flee and avoid, stuff like that for the cavalry. Even though it doesn't specifically state it here, it does reference it a bit. So whether that's just a mistake on their part. Now, in terms of what you get in model wise, let's see if I can get the glare off. You get 24 plastic infantry. 24 plastic Hanavarian infantry, 48 plastic British infantry. So they're both on the same side. For those of you that don't know, Battle of Waterloo. You get one metal Royal Artillery 6-pounder along with its crew, a British foot commander metal, and a French commander metal as well. 48 plastic French infantry and 12 plastic chevaux à cheval. I'm pretty butchered that straight away, but they're cavalry. So there's no cavalry for the British, but there's no cannons for the French. So it just gives you that option just to mix it up a bit and have two different forces that will play in different ways. So naturally, you've got more of a defensive one with the British and a definitely more of an attacking force with the French. So going through the models, I'll start off with the cavalry. So you'd put them onto a base like this. And they're quite nice. The horse was in 2 bits, cut down the middle, you just glued that together. And then you had if I remember, you had the main body of the rider, one separate arm with the sword, and then the little saddlebag on the side here. That would also need to be glued on, and the head. Again, fairly easy put together. Usual, Warlord games, cut and assembly style. You need to watch out for the mould lines a bit, but nothing too much. Then going on to the Hanavarian Infantry. These are nice. There's a good bit of, with all of this, you can get a good bit of variety, so it's all not looking the same. So you can see that front left guy's got an eye patch. Not an eye patch, well, a bandage, technically. And you've got some differences in the faces and some slight differences in the body. And that's what you want, because when you've got them varied in rank, you do like to mix it up a little bit. And obviously a lot of that will come from the painting. Go on to the British infantry. Again, you've got that mix and that difference. Different postures, slightly different kit. And again with the French, now these are also wearing greatcoats, which adds to just highlight the difference. And especially when painting, as with the art on the box, you can get quite a few different colours at them instead of just going with red, for example, like the British infantry. And the metal 6-pounder is 6-pounder cannon is quite flimsy, quite small to be fair. I imagine it'd be a bit bigger. That was fairly easy to put together. We've got a, oh, I can pick him up. We've got one of the crew there. Those are fairly detailed, and there wasn't too much cleaning up. And you've got your French commander here, British commander. Nice arrogant pose with a cigar and umbrella, very nice. Again, you've just got some more cannon crew. And one man getting his eardrums blown out. Now, overall, in terms of the rules and play, you know, it all varies around what formations you choose, and that affects a lot of the rules. So one thing you are missing from this when you're building, for example, your line infantry, as shown on the front of the French, is you're missing the little command 4-man group or 5-man group, which would sit in the middle, because you've got a lot of even numbers in terms of the squares. So you would have, for example, 8 of these, and then you go 4 along the front, 4 along the back. But really, you want that odd number in the group to designate that centre. So you want that 5 in the front with that command group. So that's just something you're missing in terms of you looking to expand upon this and get some more bits. This might require a bit of investment for the future in terms of if you do want to increase what you have for black powder. But overall, this is a fairly good starting point for 2 main forces. You know, you can branch into Peninsular Wars and other combats that black powder tries to show. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions on it, I would be happy to try and answer. So again, thank you and see you next time.